And I'm gonna start with, hi, my name is Sebastián Angibaud. I'm from Pixel Federation, and this is actually my first talk on a stage like this. I never talked on a conference, so I'm actually quite nervous, so be patient. Thank you, thank you. And yeah, I'm here to talk about prices. To start, we had many great talks regarding customization in different countries and culturalization, but not that many about pricing and how you should do pricing right, especially in different geos. But let's start with me. I see. All right, so I was born in Slovakia, which is south of Poland, actually not far from Polish borders, in small town Poprad. It's about an hour from Zakopane. My parents used to take me there when I was a child, so it was really nice. I liked Zakopane and Poland for quite some time. I'm half Slovakian, half French, it's the name. And I started working at Pixel Federation in year 2019. Started as a UA manager, and after around 2.5 years during COVID, I shifted towards monetization. And in recent years, I also, dabble with monetization overall. Thank you. So about Pixel Federation. So we are a gaming company based in Slovakia. We started as basically on Canvas with web games, and I had the wrong one. That explains a lot. Thank you. I was feeling really awkward here. So anyway, we started with on Canvas. And that was almost 17 years ago, believe it or not. That's quite a time. And since then we did the journey was pretty long and pretty rough. We made some VR games. I mean, we tried some VR games. We also tried with sort of RPG games, and we even made a Steam game, basically like Steam game, free-to-play game with space battles, but that really didn't work out. So our most successful titles right now are mostly on Android and iOS, and still some on web, but there are mostly tycoon games like Train Station 2, Port City, and we do some really nice puzzle games with adventure elements called Diggs Adventure and Puzzle Adventure. You can go and check them in the store. And I'm here to talk more about Transition 2, and because that's where we did the testing. And so it was launched in year 2019 as a sequel to Transition 1. It's basically a logistic management game where players collect trains and manage like different regions, build their station, and so on. The game is very focused on longevity. What I mean is since we have quite a good day 28 retention, and we have pretty good conversion to payers, especially on tier 1 markets. And what is bread and butter of this game and of our studio is live ops. We constantly work on events, on longevity, or like life of a game. And if you actually download the Transition 2 now, you wouldn't be, unless you're a whale, you wouldn't be able to finish it in like 4 years. And by then we probably have like more content for you. So that's quite good. In terms of revenue, it's 70% in-app purchases and 30% ads. Here are some screenshots. Laser pointer works nice. So this is like a region play area of basically players have to connect the region, repair bridges, build factories, and so on. Here we see the train gacha. Players collect these trains. They can see them in of nice 3D models. You can check them, and these are real historical trains and even some modern ones, and we due to legal reasons we actually had to change some. And this is a second row is about live ops, and as you can see, we in collaboration with Planet Play, we had an event about saving the world, and they actually had a deal with famous actors, so we get rights to use him in a game, and he was you could interact with him and work for him. And last but not least is mini games. We started recently adding them, and they work quite well. Players really like them. It's something different. It doesn't really connect to a core game loop, but it works nice. Let's go ahead. And this is very complicated graph, as you can see. And you can see basically breakdown of daily active users. As you can see, most of them, I mean, around half of them comes from tier 1 countries like Germany, United States, UK, etc. And tier 2 and tier 3 have around same split and around 45% together. But if we take this breakdown into the revenue share, we see the more than 80% is coming from tier 1 countries, especially from US. And even though we have quite a lot of players from tier 2, they only count for 15% of revenues, and for tier 3 is just 4%. And we also have ads, but in-apps are still very important, and we never could really monetize fully on ads, especially our campaigns. So we decided to change this, and here are some key reasons why we decided. First thing is people in tier 2 and tier 3 could be monetized better, and also from some tier 1 countries. And the reason is because these people have different disposable income, as you probably all know, and also they have different value perception. So when these people have less amount of money, they cannot afford your expensive virtual trains for, I don't know, $200. Okay, we had one that train, but. And second reason is, as I have a marketing background, is we really struggled with tier 3 and sometimes even tier 2 campaigns. And yeah, somebody could say like, hey, just don't run them, but that's difficult because you still need players from tier 2 and tier 3 countries, because we have some online elements like some social, some leaderboards, we even have a co-op region. So it's important. Also, it helps you with A/B testing, and last but not least, it helps you rank better. So, and the third reason is just makes sense because of this. This is a disposable income around the world. As you can see, basically global north has disposable income around 2,000 euros, dollars and more. Meanwhile, rest of the world, Eastern Europe, South America, Africa, and almost whole of Asia are just barely around 1,000. So that is, unfortunately, I cannot fix that, and none of us can, but it's unfortunate, and these players could better enjoy your game and or your product if you just change the prices. And here are some examples of companies already doing it. So Spotify, you probably already know. So I checked, and you can probably check as well. It's really, really simple. You can just Google it. You don't even have to install VPN. You can check their prices for subscription, and they already do the segmentation. So this is just, I screenshotted these like 3 days ago, because actually US changed they changed in prices in US by $1. They increased. Meanwhile, I had this presentation, so I had to edit that. But if we see the same subscription in US, Slovakia, and Poland does have different price. So in Slovakia, it's $7 per month. In US is 12, and in Poland is 6. And the content is basically the same. Yeah, there are some small changes, like in US they have the 15 hours of audiobooks. I don't know how that is valid for Spotify, maybe a lot, but for example, in Germany, they also have like $12, but they don't exactly have audiobook subscription. And the other company that was mentioned yesterday that is doing it is YouTube Premium, is Google. And I believe the content also just changes slightly. I know some channels are restricted in some countries. Like I know I couldn't watch some videos in Germany, but yeah, it doesn't really change that much, but the price is big change. And one extra example, a small game called Fortnite. And this is actually an online game focused on battle royale. So players with each country compete within one area. And the game does have it's a free-to-play game, and it does have a hard currency. It's called V-Bucks, which is excellent name, by the way. And I checked the different prices around the world. And again, there are some changes. So as you can see, the US 1,000 V-Bucks price in US is $9. But if we check in Turkey and Brazil, it's around half of that. Similar for Ukraine. Hungary is a little bit higher. But what is interesting, for example, and I already mentioned, is South Korea. Like the price is 35% cheaper, but South Korea is still a rich country. But this is something that just works. Not all tier 1 countries are equal in terms of economic value and disposable income, as we saw on previous graph picture. And so how can you change it? So there are really, I see, 3 options. So first thing is you can do in-house testing. This is great if you have a good team, good analytics team, and they are willing to work for you a lot. You have to build some tools, etc. But it's kind of hard, and especially if you just want to start testing this thing, it may be overreaching. So the second option is third-party company, and they can do it for you, but that is also kind of tricky because you don't know how it's going to work out. So there is a third option, and I think that's just really great and super simple and really convenient. So you could go into the Google Play console, and left bar you can scroll down and see the price experiments, and they're super easy to set up. You just you just add details, give it some experiment name, description, pick countries, regions, some products you have in game or app, start date. You add some variants. You can decrease prices, you can increase prices, you can do A, B, C, D test, all that. And the last thing is manage settings, and you can see like you can set up the confidence interval and detectable difference or something like that. I don't remember right now. So, and these are some tests we did. So we took the packs with prices below $20. This was because we were thinking, like, we did some research and we were very careful regarding this. We didn't want it to make our players angry because we have quite a strong community and they communicate with each other around the world. So we also didn't want it to cannibalize on our whales. So that's why we set up the price floor on $20. And we run tests on these 3 countries. So South Korea decreased prices by 20%, Brazil 55%, and Poland 15%. We did some research on this, and here are some results. And as you can see, it's been pretty successful. So let me explain the bottom. The tested packs revenue is the packs that were 20 or below. Those were with decreased prices. Total revenue are all packs, including those that weren't discounted. These were also in the test. And new players, these are revenues from players that came into the game during the testing. We ran some some UA campaigns to boost the player count. And as you can see, it worked quite nicely. So especially these discount packs showed quite uplift in revenues, especially what worked really well was Brazil, and Korea and Poland were really nice. And in terms of total revenue, you can actually see even in some cases, even bigger uplift, especially in Korea and small in Poland. This is because we have a theory that we have internal segmentation, and once players start to buy packs and they start with low, we eventually show them higher and more valuable packs with rare trains, better parts, etc. And what happened is players, especially in Korea and Poland, started to buy those smaller packs, those cheaper packs, but they were segmented higher and they already saw the value in game and quite liked it. So they started purchasing even the non-discounted packs. That didn't actually work that well with Brazil. So in that case, we could actually go higher with the price benchmark, and we could probably go more than 20 euros. We could probably test with like 50 and above. And new payers revenue, that was really nice in all countries, but especially in Brazil, in Poland, when we see almost 50% in Brazil, 30% in Poland, and a small uplift in Korea, but that was pretty nice. We didn't really expect that much in Korea, but it was good. And this is the second part. Here you can see the purchases. So it's like each pack counts for one purchase, and that basically skyrocketed in Brazil. And this is the reason, because it was like 55% cheaper, and this really helped our campaigns to achieve those signals sooner, to be more profitable, to find better and more suitable users towards our game. And also, Korea and Poland were pretty good. These are new pairs we acquired. No, actually, these are total players and how much they increased and compared to the control group. And yeah, again, in Brazil, it was almost twice as many, which is great. And we saw also some nice uplift on Poland and Brazil. And last but not least is the conversion on pairs. That was also quite nice across the board. So after this test, I felt like this. Like it wasn't that hard, and it really just took a common sense and some research, and basically anybody. It's a simple thing. And yes, some caution is advised actually. So the first thing you're gonna hear is a VPN. And yes, you kind of do have to be careful around that, but it's not that simple. Because if you would try to change your country in your store, in Google, you can do it once per year, and after that, it's locked for entire year. So if somebody from US decided, okay, I want cheaper prices on my trains, they're gonna be locked from all the other apps for entire year unless they change it back. So it's a viable option, but not for everyone. I heard about some cases, especially in Russia and Indonesia, where actually players did that. So just be careful, especially if you have some hardcore game or if you have a very clever players, let's say. There could be some legal issues, and this is something I tried to look up, and there are actually laws that prohibit to have some different prices on same product for different people. So you also made to slightly change some products in games or apps. You could do that very easily with Google. But again, some cases it's all right. I tried to look up if there are any problems with Spotify, and they didn't have any issue. Same with Fortnite and so on. And last but not least, the criticism. So some players, especially like from well-developed countries, may feel a bit cheated, especially again if they talk with each other. But it's, you know, people are always angry and they leave mean comments and so on. But try to explain to them that it's just fair. They earn more money in their country, and you know you cannot change how the other people earn their money. All right. So yeah, that's about it. So, thank you.